Disney is blowing down the barn doors when it comes to budget spends on all of their movies and streaming shows. It seems like they're addicted to spending every dime and dollar they don't have. So what in the world is going on, and when will Bob Iger be held accountable? You're not going to believe what the numbers turned out to be for the Little Mermaid live-action remake. That dead flounder CGI sure was expensive. And Indiana Jones: The Dial of Destiny, it also, the numbers going up and up. And finally, even for the very small movies where budgets are held into constraints, well, Disney just can't stop spending on marketing to the point that everything that they film turns into a flop because they do not know how to stop. Well, folks, the budgets for the Walt Disney Company have gone utterly insane. They are spending so much money that there is no way that they can make their money back. Tom Connors of Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark joins us today to talk about the bloated budgets of Disney and what in the world they are thinking. Tom, welcome back to the channel, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, yes, Tom. I see you are getting ready to go in just a bit to see a very scary movie. What is that, Tom?
The Exorcist. It's a family picture.
Yes, well, it features a family. Yes, that is true indeed.
That's
all right,
what
folks,
I'm told.
That's right. Unlike The Exorcist, this will be a family-friendly video today for all of you out there. But we are definitely going to talk about something that's very scary for Disney and its investors, and that is that they have lost total control of the purse strings. So let's dive into this. First of all, Tom, we are finding out that The Little Mermaid, its budget had been reported at being something that was massive. It actually exploded way bigger than that, and it is something utterly ridiculous. Valliant Renegade put out a video. I want to show a short clip of that, and folks, the link to this video is in the description. Please go check it out. It's 10 minutes of perfection in showing just how crazy Disney has gone. But let's take a look now at Valliant and what he has to say about The Little Mermaid.
$1 million or so in producing the film and another $100 million in marketing, Disney would be fine. They would have broken even at the box office, made a little bit of money, and moved on. But of course, this is a Disney production, and nothing is that cheap for Disney. And thanks once again to Forbes magazine, we have some updates here from Sandcastle Pictures, which is the production entity in the UK that housed all of the financial returns for The Little Mermaid. Disney sinks $300 million into over-budget Little Mermaid movie. Disney revealed the cost of making the live-action version of its classic cartoon, The Little Mermaid, swelled to nearly $300 million by the end of August last year, 8 months before the movie opened.
All right, Tom, so they had said that this was a $250 million budgeted film. It exceeded $300 million. This follows right in line with what we've seen from Indiana Jones: The Dial of Destiny, which was supposed to be under $300 million, then it was $320, then it was $330. Now we suspect it's probably in excess of $350. We've seen this with a number of Disney productions. Ahsoka, which has been poorly received, to say the least. By the way, its rating currently, I believe, on Rotten Tomatoes, getting ready to drop below 70%. But it had a budget of $200 million. We bet it blew past that. Tom, what is Disney thinking from a corporate financial standpoint? I mean, do they think that money actually does grow on some sort of plant out there? I don't understand what they're thinking.
Well, I mean, sadly, it's not just Disney. I wish they were the only culprits in this, but overspending has become a big problem within the industry as a whole. This is something we've talked about for a while, going back to the superhero craze, because there's a lot of producers who would love to just end that whole thing because they cost a lot of money, and the risk assessment has gone up quite a bit in the amount of money that they're going to make back, if they make anything back anymore. It used to be easy to throw a cape on somebody and put them in a movie and make them look like they could fly and make a billion bucks, but not so much anymore.
Boy, do they miss those days. It also doesn't work if you throw fins on somebody, especially if they're CGI fins. But Tom, when you look at these budgets, just so people understand, a $300 million production budget, and then there's no way that they spent $100 million on The Little Mermaid. There's no way on advertising. We're talking about, that's like a $200 million spend on advertising. You're literally talking about, at that point, a company that knows it has to make $1 billion. It's a $1 billion gamble, and this is craziness, because it's getting to the point now where Disney cannot produce a film that can make less than $1 billion and break even. I mean, think about Snow White. This thing is now going to be reshot again, and it has no audience. So, Tom, when are investors, when is a board out there going to rise up and say, enough is enough? We can make movies for $100 million. We don't have to spend triple that amount and devastate the company.
Yeah, I got to imagine the whole, like, we know what we're doing, just trust us kind of argument is only going to go so far for so long. And as I said, this isn't just a Disney thing. It's kind of an industry-wide thing. Not everybody has got this problem, but just about every studio has got a little bit of an issue with overspending, especially on these tentpole features, as you said, that are make or break at $1 billion. Like,
yeah,
they have to make $1 billion. Well, and Disney more so than the rest, because, like you said, not only do they have the superhero films, they have their lately their only other movies they're really releasing are like your Little Mermaids or your Haunted Mansions and such, and none of those are very cheap from what we've been hearing. And same thing goes for like a lot of the Warner Brothers movies lately with the superheroes and stuff like that. Same kind of thing. And a lot of it's because of what you just said: reshoots, poor planning.
And they struck down physical media for streaming, Tom. There's no money after it leaves the box office.
That's the other problem is The Little Mermaid was one of those films that didn't do, I mean, it did bonkers at the box office, but it didn't do like Lion King money, but it sure did Lion King money on video. Right. And that's the thing. And what people don't realize.
Talking about the original animated.
Yes. Because the original Lion King for the longest time was the biggest selling video of all time. And before that was like, I think Batman or maybe Beauty and the Beast and then Batman, I think, or whatever before that. But Little Mermaid was quite a ways up there, because that was when Disney was on their way back up, the ladder again. So
right. It's at the new renaissance.
Yeah.
Well, I want to take a look at an article now, Tom, and as we go to this one, let me just say, folks, we covered some information out of CNN the other day. We're an equal opportunity channel when it comes to the sources we use. You can take a look at the screen there and see where we're coming from on this one. We're not here for the partisan side of this, because we recognize which sides out there left and right. We're here to talk about the facts that are inside this, because I can't find them anywhere else. So we're going here where the facts are. Nolte, the Creator is another Disney box office catastrophe, and a lot of people wanted us to cover the Creator, and I've heard different folks have different takes on this piece of entertainment. But when it comes to the budget, we're back into insanity again. So Disney spent at least $125 million to market and promote the Creator, and like everything else, well, you get that, folks. You see the title there. You know which website we're on. It exploded into 1 million pieces of failure. It says the Creator was co-written and directed by Gareth Edwards and starred John David Washington. A topical theme about artificial intelligence drives this big sci-fi extravaganza. Nevertheless, it came in third place, opening to just $14 million. Worldwide, it grossed just $32 million. And this is why, folks, we haven't really covered this on the channel before. It's because it didn't rise to the level that we could make it, a worthwhile thing to do for a video. We just couldn't dedicate a whole video to it. But when it comes to this, the fact that it needed $200 million and it made $32 million, nobody out there is talking about this budget. We found it here.
80 million.
You think the budget was 80 million?
Oh, I know it was 80 million.
Oh, well then I see. Market and promote. Gotcha. Okay. So what they're saying is,
in a sense, that this is the thing is the $125 million they spent on marketing was a waste of money, because this movie was already getting a buzz before that. And
wait a minute, Tom. I'm realizing something. So wait, let me add this up then. You're saying that 125 is to market and promote.
Yep.
You're saying there's a separate 80 that is the production. This article is saying that it needed $200 million to break even, and that's because the author of the article doesn't know that they only bring back about 50%. So you're telling me, Tom, this needed $400 million to break even.
With that marketing, it did, unfortunately, because we've been talking about this movie for like the last month and a half or two, because Gareth shot this on a minimal budget with a minimal crew, not redoing the special effects over and over and over and over and over again like they normally do over there at Disney. And he managed to bring this movie in on a minuscule budget, basically. And all they had to do was just release it. The buzz was already around it. I don't know why they spent. I didn't see any of the advertising, so I'm scratching my head, going, where did they spend this money on advertising?
This is incredible to me that they set up a situation where the Creator had to make $400 million
Unless
could have
that
been
article is saying that they spent 80 on the movie and then the rest of that's on advertising. Maybe they didn't spend that much on advertising.
I don't know, but
and at 200 million total, that's the only way that I could see that being a break-even point, because they did only spend $80 million on the movie, believe it or not. It was a very low-budgeted film.
If the numbers there are right, Tom,
yeah.
If the numbers there are right, then when we are very kind in our analysis to Disney, we'll often do this where we'll say, you know what, let's give them the absolute best possible number for their marketing spend. Let's put it at 100 million. And we do that knowing it's ludicrously low. If they're spending 120 million for marketing and promotion for the creator, then we got to stop that, because that's so low at this point that it's not even in the realm of realism. So you could imagine that, like the Little Mermaid, it's easy 200 million. If they're spending 120 on the creator, then the Little Mermaid, Indiana Jones, all of that stuff is easy $200 million marketing spend. There's no way that they're spending anywhere in the same realm as this. Like you said, you saw nothing in terms of advertising, and apparently they spent 120.
Where? Because I don't know. I mean, I saw some very minimal ads as far as like on a few, like I think like Variety and whatnot. I don't know.
I have no answer.
Any trailers on YouTube or nothing. Of course, I don't have terrestrial TV, so that's one thing. But
maybe they were running it during some of the late night shows that have come back now. Who knows?
Oh yeah, those were on.
Well, Tom, we will get more numbers on Indiana Jones: The Dial of Destiny down the road, as we're going to get some tax returns out of the UK that will reveal the final amount that was spent on that. We're seeing The Little Mermaid way, way exceeded what it was supposed to be spent on, and it looks like other stuff like the creator as well. Disney is so far outside of fiscal responsibility at this time. Hopefully, although we're not a financial advice channel, hopefully the investors out there and the sober-minded individuals within the company are going to start holding Bob Iger accountable and saying, this is not sustainable. This is not sustainable. We cannot suffer through more insufferable content with these sorts of budgets. Tom, final word.
Yeah, basically, I can't believe Disney shot themselves in the foot with their creator. Could have been a success for them had they just dropped it into some hyped up the visual aspect and then slowly released it on video and on demand and put it on Disney Plus or Hulu, and they probably could have made their money back. This again just shows you how they just corporately don't have their act together altogether.
Indeed, indeed. Well, Count Tomula, thank you for stopping by today. Where can people find you on this great, big, beautiful web?
You can find me on the Midnight Edge after dark, where I always am, after dark.
I hear on that channel he's batting 1,000. Yes. All right, folks. If you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, and when you click it, you do indeed stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell. And the more you like this content, the more dad jokes we can tell here. They're bad jokes, but we like them all the same. Folks, make sure to go find Tom Connors on Midnight's Edge and Midnight's Edge After Dark. Subscribe. You're going to love the content over there. If you've not found it, many of these other channels owe our very existence to the folks such as Midnight's Edge who set the first trails ablaze here on YouTube. All right, folks, the Pro Show is starting in just a little bit if you're watching this video at the time of release, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time every single Thursday. We've got a huge Hollywood guest today going by code name so that he can actually be on the show and share with you his thoughts. We are so excited to have this show today. Can't wait to see all of you out there. All right, drop a comment down below. We cover your comments. We care about what you think, and wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Listen up, my brothers and sisters. You've been listening to Phils and those with an agenda to destroy your brain cells for far too long. It's time to change your way of doing things. Hold up. TPP is the place to be. Covering the news, so honestly, it's a team that's cool and tried and true. Ahead of the culture curve, they're trying to keep you. Jonas and Pro, they run the show, and they dragged in the bearded culture casino. You got Valliant and Lord and Fourth of Line. Wonderful people, yeah, they're alright. They got weird bringing in people like Flora, but made no mistake with Lorena Creole. Amelia and John, stuttering guitarist. Martin and Tawny and someone called CMS. Fat Steven makes a bunch of all the graphics. Did I mention a partnership with Bending in the comics? Fat Sky is a guy and Doc Matt does the web stuff. There's probably some people I missed. I hope they're not telling you the news. That should be fun. With accurate info that's not been spun. You can figure it out as you will see. The TPP is the place to be.
Yeah, Wilton. That was actually pretty good, or white. But I think you might have forgotten Vash.
Well, he lost all his friends. But it was implied.